Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Chat Reality. I'm Michael,
And I'm Molly.
and we are here today for another draft. Survivor 50 is on the horizon, less than a week away. Could not be more excited about it. And of course, with a new Survivor season comes a new draft. And here with us is our Survivor draft correspondent, our friend, host of Pod Friends, Matt Scott. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, but I don't know, maybe you could help me. I've been looking around for my draft crown. I don't
Oh.
know where it is. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure one of you sent it to me in the mail,
Yeah,
right?
the USPS, it's just it gets lost.
Mm,
Yeah, how what percentage of mail is it that gets lost every year? Some very high percentage. So it's in that
too high,
percentage,
apparently.
unfortunately. Yeah, but we'll
Mm-mm.
make sure it gets to you.
I'm happy to be here. Other than that crown, and my prize is missing. I'm still waiting for my $1 million check in the mail. So, I
Mm.
think that's what you win for the draft. I don't know if we
I
figured that out, but
I heard that this year I think it is what, but I don't know about previous years. I mean I
okay.
haven't won, so I can't say.
Hmm. Yeah. Rough times, but
Yeah.
Molly and I can't relate.
Maybe
But
it's your chance now, Michael.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
I feel good
Finally.
about it. I feel good, and what we will see, we will find out today who is on each of our teams, and then in the coming weeks, we will find out how we all are doing in the draft. But Matt, what are your thoughts? I mean, Survivor 50 has been long awaited season. It filmed what feels like 50,000 years ago. And we have been
Right.
waiting with bated breath ever since then. But what are your thoughts as we get very close to this premiere here?
I think I'm more than anything, I'm just excited because when we had the trailer for Survivor 50 with Mr. Beast and all of the other people in it, I feel like there was a mixed reaction. People were happy to see their favorite players, but not so happy about some of the things they perceived about the season. So I'm just happy that we have Survivor back and then we'll actually get to see it all unfold. Finally.
Yeah,
Finally.
I
It's been
know. I
forever.
mean, Molly, this cast was very controversial to say the least when it first got announced. I feel like people were hoping for some other names to be on it, or maybe surprised by some of the names who did show up. But I don't know. I feel like as we get closer to it, even the people who were complaining about the cast, I think it feels like the excitement is overtaking any other emotion.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the interactive elements they also included with like the finding the idols and
Mhm.
other stuff has made it a little bit more like, okay, this is really actually happening now. Like now we're here and we should be excited for it, even if there's some people who weren't the most thrilled with everyone on the cast. Like I think at this point it's like it's still Survivor 50 season. Like it's gonna be great regardless.
Hmm.
Exactly. Beggars can't be
Yeah.
choosers.
Yeah.
Like nobody's ever going to be fully happy with the cast. I think you get out all the emotions when it first comes out, and then you just
Hmm.
kind of leave that in the past. And I feel like we're in for a good season. Like I just have a very good feeling about it, even if Survivor winners or maybe didn't meet everyone's expectations. Game Changers didn't. The last few All Star seasons have been a little iffy, but I don't know. I feel like we have a good vibe going into this one, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. And this just feels so different because it's been 2 years, about 2 years, more than 2 years since Survivor 50 was announced, if I'm remember
Yeah.
correctly. Like I know it was by the time that 46 was coming out. Um, so I mean, like I'm just happy that's finally happening. And this cast is a really fun cast. Like if you listen to any of the preseason interviews, which I feel like I listened to like multiple preseason interviews for each person.
There's
Um,
so much
like
content.
you understand though why each person is
Yeah.
there, and why they were cast. So that makes me feel a little bit better about everything.
That's a good
A
point. I
lot
felt the
better.
same way about a lot of them, that even there were certain people who, when we first heard the names, I was like, really, them again? Like, do we really need to see this person for a fourth, fifth time? But seeing those interviews, it does feel like some of these people are in just a different place in their lives than they were the
Hmm.
last time they played. And a lot of them played like very close sequentially to each other's. And it was like, season and then 4 seasons later again. And then, 4 or 5 seasons later again. And now there's been a longer break for them. And so I feel like we're going to see these same people in a very different stage of life. And I think that's exciting to see. So I'm looking forward to it. But before we get to it, we got to draft them. So Matt, you are our reigning champion, as you mentioned. So your prize, if nothing else, is that you get to pick the draft order.
Oh, okay, good. I wasn't sure how it worked. I wasn't sure if I went first or if I got to pick the draft order.
You're picking the order.
You know what? I have a good feeling about this. I know that first in the draft, I'm going to put the one, the only non-winner of the draft, Michael. You are first.
Ooh,
putting you on the spot. And then second, of course, I'll put Molly, and then I'll be third in the draft.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, I guess I'm going first then. This didn't work out so well for me on Traders. So I'm left with only one person on there so far. But okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I could regret this.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. I feel like this person, it's fitting for me to pick them first, I think, because this person is from the first season of Survivor. I'm going to go with Jenna Lewis.
Wow.
Oh.
Interesting choice.
And I'll say why.
Choice. Okay.
I was so impressed by Jenna's interviews. I think more than anyone else, I was shocked in a really, really good way by her preseason interviews. I feel like she has been watching the show. She has a really good strategy. I loved what she said about wanting to compliment people on traits that other people aren't complimenting them on. I think that's so smart because people love to hear compliments that they don't hear about themselves all the time from everybody else. And I think that's really, really smart. I feel like that she is going to just be able to socially integrate with her tribe. And I think she's not going to be seen as a huge threat, though, because she's from season 1. She has not played since Rob Cesternino has played Survivor. So I think we all know how long that was. And so I think that she is going to be just kind of not on people's radar as somebody who needs to go early on. And then I think she'll be able to get in there and play a strategic game. And I have a good feeling about her.
Okay, I could see that.
I think that her strategy is so fascinating. Conjecture, flattery. And because I watched multiple interviews, I heard her talk about it multiple times and saw the clips on social media of her talking about it. And I worry for her because she's so intense. Like, she's the one who famously, according to preseason press, like brought out a CD player to pretend that she's like old and out of it, but she's 47, I think, and she's like not even, maybe she's like the 5th oldest or something, I don't know. So I think she's just playing a little too hard for my liking, potentially, but we'll see how it unfolds. I really want to see her complimenting everyone left and right. And unrelated to any of this, I just want to let you know, I know I never told either of you this, but I really love like the combination of the paint in your rooms and then the blinds. I feel like it's very, yeah.
Oh my God, thank you, Matt. Nobody's ever complimented me on that. Yeah.
Wow. I never would have even thought about that. You're welcome.
But no, I see what you're saying. I do think there is a possibility that she is going to play too hard, too fast and get an early out because of that. I don't know. I just think that people,
probably not,
even if she's not the oldest, I think that people, even if like a very young person played on an early season, I think that people are going to think of them as being older than they are, if that makes sense. And so I think that she, because is the person who has the longest gap in playing this game, I think that she's going to just kind of be seen as the kind of older person who isn't a big threat and can be carried later on in the game. And I
Mhm.
think she's on a tribe that has a lot of strong physical players too. Joe, Ozzy. Like, I just don't think that they're going to be going to tribal all that often in the pre-merge, unless I don't know how this is going to work because there's so many people. It's possible that the two tribes are going to tribal each week, and maybe that ups the likelihood of it. But I think that they have a good shot at not being the disaster tribe if there is one. So I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like just picking her first season, it just felt right to me. I don't know. We'll see.
It feels right. And I think she'll probably do, like, unless she's playing too hard. But the thing is, this is a cast of a lot of people who are going to be perceived as major threats. So I I'm very excited to see her play. And hopefully she gets to play for a long time, maybe all the way to Final Tribal, Michael, if you're lucky.
We'll see. We'll see. But we have a lot of people to get to. So
Hmm.
Molly, you're up.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with my heart here and choose Charlie. Well, I also think he could do well, but I think because I felt for him so bad when he came in second when he should have won, and just overall, I love his Taylor references, and I love that all the videos are like, "This is my reputation era." So I'm just here for it, and I think Charlie's good with making connections, and I think he could still find like that number one person who he can trust even though he was burned. So I think that is good to know that he's not just like gonna totally change up his game, but in some ways obviously he's gonna be cautious about that. But I think that, I mean, he obviously made it far to the end and didn't get the credit he deserved entirely, so I think here maybe he will. So I'm rooting for Charlie.
I didn't know you were Swifty, Molly. Did you go to the Eras tour? Famously, Molly went to the Eras tour. How many times?
Yeah.
5?
Four.
4.
Oh my god. 4.
But all on the pre-sale tickets.
Oh my gosh, that's even more impressive.
Yeah.
I worry for Charlie this season. I really think that his reputation, no pun intended, is going to precede him. I just think that if you watch everybody talk, and one thing that I love that we got with the preseason this year was Mike Bloom asking, having the friend or foe game, and you got to hear everybody's thoughts on everybody. And I just feel like there were a lot of people that said foe on Charlie because they were worried about the fact that he is known as one of the best players to not win their season, one of the most robbed final three contestants ever. So I just worry that people are going to be so weary of him and not want to work closely with him and want to get him out early. But I hope not. I really like Charlie, so I hope that doesn't happen, but I do worry about him.
Yeah, I feel similarly about him. He's just such a great player, and it's so rough because we see people who are these robbed players, and like it makes it so much hard to win the next time, which is so sad because then I don't know if he'll be robbed again this time, but like definitely I hate it's like the reputation reference. His reputation will precede him for sure, so that's rough. But I like him. I
Yeah.
just worry for him.
Well,
I
and I
worry
also
about, I
think
think I
that-
worry about everyone here.
I know.
I feel like it's the case with everyone, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll pick Charlie.
Yeah,
And I
that's a
do
good
think that
pick.
if he is, because of his reputation, if he's able to make it to the final three again, I don't, he would have to like play a significantly different, worse game than he played before to not win, I think, if he makes it to the final three, because I think it's so much more impressive for somebody with his reputation to still make it as far. And I just think that he would probably win if he makes it to final three again.
Yeah.
Well,
Something red, something tortured poets department, something. I was looking for references. It's fine.
yeah.
Molly,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I let you down.
Meet me at midnight on February 25th. for Survivor premiere. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Well, Matt, you have 2 picks now.
Okay, this is what I was dreaming about, having 2 picks in a row. So this is really rough, but I think I just have to go with my. Oh man. Okay. This is so rough. I'm going to tell you my first pick. My first pick, because I just love her so much, is Chrissy Hofbeck.
Mm.
And I'll give you, well, yeah, I'll just tell you really quickly. She's my first pick, one, because I think that she's just so likable. I think she has an ability to like improve on everything that didn't work as well her first season. She was in a really tough spot with a lot of like younger players, and I just feel really good about her and want her to succeed. And I feel like a lot of the players out there will want her to succeed subconsciously, which I hope means that she'll get that much further. So that's Chrissy as my first pick at draft pick number 3. And then, oh man, I have someone I want to pick, but this is where I'm like gaming you two. So I'm going to go with someone I think that you two are more likely to pick, and then hope I get the other person. I'm going to go with Emily Flippin.
Oh.
I just feel like there's so many people who've made it to the final 3, or who've made it so far in their game, who were these like big threats. And Emily definitely was a strong, competent player, but in these all-star seasons, it often feels like we get someone who didn't have as great of a showing the first time, or the best showing, even though there's so many people who've done really well. So I'm going to go with Emily here. So Chrissy and Emily are on my side. That's right.
Okay.
Did I do a good job?
I think I really, really love Chrissy. My only fear with Chrissy is that I feel like her cast the first time didn't really like her, it seemed like. And that worries me, that there's something that maybe just doesn't gel with her in making connections in this game. I don't know what it is, but because she seems so likable from her interviews, and I think that there's a higher likelihood that she'll get along with her tribe this season, because this cast just skews older than HHH did. But I think that if she gets a tribe that she does just kind of organically gel with, then yes, I totally agree with you. I think that she has a very good shot of making it far, and people wanting her to succeed and all of that. With Emily, I think that Emily could have a deep run in this game. I do. I think that I have high hopes for Emily. She would have been a relatively high pick for me too. So you did do a good job with that.
Thank you.
Stealing her. I do slightly worry that the lesson that she took out of her first season is that she didn't like the way it ended. So that worries me a tiny bit. But I have very high hopes for her entertainment-wise, if nothing else. So I'm very excited to watch her this season.
Yeah, I also would have chosen Emily pretty high up, so that was a good pick on your part, Matt. But I think she has a lot of potential here in this season, and I feel like overall just excited to see her back. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oof. Wish me luck.
It's fun to have the back-to-backs, but it's also stressful because then you're like, you got to go 2 at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I think I have that coming up after your next pick, Molly. So got to start thinking.
Yeah. Well, I've got my person in mind. I'm gonna go with Genevieve. So I love Genevieve. I feel like she is just all around, like, I think obviously from her season, like there were things that she learned from that she can implement, and working with people and being more emotional in that way. And obviously she's really strategic too. So I think that those balance this time around like will help her out, and hopefully people don't really see her as too big of a threat also. So I think that could be good on her part, and just building those connections with people and making it throughout the game pretty far, hopefully.
Yeah.
Genevieve. Yeah, Genevieve is a great pick, and it's really hard to understand how other players are perceiving her, but she just I guess I don't really fully understand it. Like I loved her on her season on season 47. I think she was phenomenal. But like people really are I don't know, I think people are really gonna be watching out for her and like worried about her as a threat. That's the one thing I see about Genevieve, but I'm sure I would have picked her earlier rather than later. I did consider her for one of my first picks.
Yeah, Molly's picking all the people with dangerous reputations.
And
Hmm.
I agree with Matt. I worry about Genevieve in this season. I really hope I love Genevieve. I love watching Genevieve. I think she's like I think that's why I love 47 is that there's so many people that were just so fascinating to watch that season. I think very complex people that season. And she was definitely one of them that I really, really love watching. So I hope that she makes it far. But I do worry that a lot of people seem to have her on their radar because and I think it's partly, unfortunately, I think similar to Charlie is that they just recently watched her season, and so like we have to think about that this season started filming right after 48, so 47 pretty fresh on their minds as well. So that is, I think, one thing that worries me with her. But I want to root for her. So, I think she's a good person to have on your team just so you can have multiple reasons to
Hmm.
root for her.
yeah, I agree.
All right. I have two picks now. Okay. I think I'm going to go for two people that I just feel like seem to have very positive receptions from a lot of the other players. So my first pick is going to be Coach
Ooh,
because a lot of
sorry, that
people,
hurt me. I
I,
really wanted Coach.
oh,
I would have picked him in my first pick, but I figured like
mm.
there's a chance maybe no one's gonna pick him.
If you just watch how everybody reacts to Coach's name, they're like, I love him. I just want to be in the island with him. I just want to talk to him. And it's like, I think that feeling is not going to go away quickly, and that they are just going to want to keep him around for entertainment purposes, if nothing else. And I just, because of that, I just don't see him being out early. I think that he is going to be in this season for the long haul. So I want to have him on my team as kind of a safe pick, if nothing else. And then
Fine.
my second pick. This one's a little bit harder, but I think I'm going to go with Tiffany.
Okay.
Because Tiffany to
Hmm.
me is kind of right in the middle in terms of like I don't think is one of the bigger threats out there, but I think that she's very likable. I think that people are going to gravitate towards her. And I think that she is just kind of one of those people who I think is going to be able to kind of slide by a little bit and potentially be able to go whatever way if there's like two sides forming on the tribe. I feel like she could be somebody who's kind of just like that everybody wants to pull on their side. And I think that she's not going to be an early threat. So I feel like because of that, she'll be able to make it and get in there and have a good run. Thoughts?
Molly, what do you think?
Yeah, I think those are two good choices. I also like Coach. So I feel like that's a good pick on that part. And Tiffany, I feel like she's got a lot to offer here. So I'm excited to see what both of those people can bring.
Yeah, those are two like solid picks there.
Mhm.
Coach, I really want Coach to win this season. Like I've never especially liked him, but there's something about him and then how everyone's perceiving him that's really turned me around this time. And it's been so long since he's played, and he's not going to come off as a big threat. But I do think that if he makes it to the end, that he could convince people like that he deserves it. Um, and then Tiffany is like I think fits that archetype of like someone who would win an all-star season like this, just
Mm.
like maybe similar to what I was saying about Emily. So those are two really good picks, and I'm like slightly grieving right now because I'm I'm like panicking about who I'll pick next. But Molly has to pick first, so
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it, Molly.
I know. I'm trying to decide. There's too many good people on here. Okay, I'm gonna go with Mike White. Now I'm going back more older people now because I'm like I have too many new people.
But
But
season 37 is older now.
well, okay, yeah, I mean it's not that old, but it's before the new era. Um, so I think with Mike, obviously he's screenwriter, creator of White Lotus, so that's an amazing show.
Yes.
And I think that just I can't wait for his confessionals, and I think that his gameplay also he's so smart and will be able to build relationships with the right people. I think in terms of making strong alliances and making it pretty far. So I'm hoping Mike White can make it.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mike. I think that there is a possibility that people are not going to want to get rid of him just so they can be on the White Lotus. Uh, but I also could see that working in not his favor because I could see people thinking, "Oh, everybody else is going to think this way, so because of that, we have to get him out early." So
Mm.
I could see it go either way, and people may be thinking, "Look, he doesn't need this money. He's rich, famous. Like, we all need this more than he does." So I could see where there could be drawbacks, but I could also definitely see it go the other way and people just kind of let him slide through so that they can have a cameo in season 4 or 5 probably.
Yeah, it's he's in such a weird position, and I could see him making it to the end again and not winning. It's just it feels weird to vote for him at the end unless he's like that amazing of a player.
Yeah.
But famously, Mike White was robbed, and I think he could be robbed again,
Yeah.
and he'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I worry the only thing I worry about with Mike is that I feel
Mhm.
like from what the vibe that I got from his interviews, I'm not sure he's like fully in it. Like I feel like he's kind of almost there to like distract himself from White
Yeah.
Lotus and to get out of that mode for a month. I don't know that he's like has the drive. The like I just got like kind of this like very relaxed vibe which could work to his favor. But I also don't know that like he's going to like be able to like get in that game mode of like I need to do whatever it takes to win.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
I'm with you.
Matt, you have 2 picks now.
Oof. Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm sweating right now. This is nerve-wracking.
Pressure's on.
Uh, I really don't know who I'm about to pick, but let's just go for it. Let's see what we're gonna do. Um, ooh, there's someone I want to pick, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Can I do it? I don't care. I'm gonna go with Suri as my
Dang it.
third pick.
She was my next pick.
Um, And it's just because, she's had so many chances at it. Like, I think they might finally just give it to her. Finally. Like, it might be that moment for her. I think socially, she's not in a bad spot, but also there are so many bigger threats or people who I could see going out first. And like, you just want to play with and be around Suri, and she's such an icon and a legend. So I think she's going to do really well in this game. It would feel wrong and disgusting to like vote her out early. So I'm going to go with Suri as my first pick. I wasn't expecting that fully. And then my fourth pick will be this is going to be controversial.
Oh boy.
I am going to go. I am definitely going to go. This is the part where it's like 30 minutes to make a decision and we're not sure. You know what? I'm going to go with you know what? Let me go with Camilla actually.
Ooh, that is not where I thought you were going
Yeah,
with
it
that.
wasn't
No, that's not where I was going. That's not where I was going. But Camilla, yeah, I just think like someone who could be seen as a big threat, but then you have Kyle there as a bigger threat, almost as a shield in some ways. You also have like Joe there, who's an
Mhm.
interesting factor in the game. I just don't think that I don't think the road to the end is as hard for her as it is for a bunch of other people. So that's my pick that I wasn't planning on.
I
Right.
can see that. Yeah, with Saria, I'm worried because everyone's like, you've just been out here too many times or like too many chances to win and you haven't yet, that they just won't want her to even get close to the end. But I think that she has a shot in some, I mean, everyone in the game has a shot, but like, I don't know, people seem to want to get her out though. And one of like in those like friend or foes, like she had more foes there, but I don't know. I'm excited to see Suri. And then with Camilla, I agree that she's more just maybe will be more low key and that she won't be seen as such a big threat. That she'll get by pretty easily, maybe through the end. Or we'll have to see how what her relationship is like with Kyle out there this time, and if they try to play together or not. That's going to be interesting to see.
Hmm. I have higher hopes for Suri than I did before I watched all the pregame interviews, actually. Because I
Mm,
thought, especially knowing that she's on a tribe with Ozzy, my biggest fear was that I thought Ozzy was going to really campaign to get her out early because of Micronesia, still having that bitterness from 15 years ago. But after watching his interview, he was actually very high on working with Suri. I forgot how they ended after Game Changers. I feel like I guess they kind of worked it out and they're in a better place now. But yeah, the fact that he was wanting to work with her, that actually gave me a lot higher hopes with them being on the same tribe. And I just think that she has such a way of being able to make people love her. And I think that the fact that she was able to make it as far as she did on AU versus the world was so impressive to me. And I think
hmm
that I have high hopes that she's not going to be an early exit this time. I don't think she's going to win. I really, unfortunately, don't. I think that once we get to final 8, final 6, I think people are going to start being like, are we really going to let Suri get this like all the way to the end here again? But I think that she could easily make it at least that far, and then we'll see what happens. But with Camilla, I have very unfortunately low hopes for her on this season. Because think about it, they just watched 48. Literally, they just watched 48,
Yeah.
and they just watched her and Kyle, and they saw her being, a very good liar, a very good at keeping that relationship secret. And I just think that is so fresh on their minds that I think they're going to be like, we can't let her get to emerge or swap with Kyle and then have the two of them work together again. So I just, unfortunately, I have a feeling that they are going to want to get her out before any potential for her to get to Kyle.
Look, that's what you think, but Camilla's going to win the season. Mark my words. Actually,
I love
Camilla and
Camilla.
Suri will win the season. Both of them.
I love Camilla. I love Suri even more. Nothing would make me happier than the two of them making it very far this season. But we'll see.
I'm so stressed out right now, by the way, because I don't pick again for a while. So you're just, this is going to be interesting.
I, on the other hand, pick right now. 2 more.
No, I get one first.
Oh, sorry. I don't pick
Also,
right
Oh.
now.
I don't get back to back, so you can't skip.
Oh.
Um, but I am gonna go with Aubrey.
Mm.
I just like watching Aubrey. I think that she's an interesting player, and I think that if she and Suri can get together, like if they make it past these 3 tribes and they can work together well, and then they can make it far, hopefully in the game. So I'm hopeful that they can reunite. And I like just overall, I'm excited to see Aubrey again.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Aubrey because, like I was saying earlier, that there were some people who like played very quickly back to back to back. That's Aubrey. Like she played
hmm
3 times in the span of like what 5 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited because it has been quite a while now since she's played. And so I think that she is going to have like a refreshed mind, and she's not going to be so burnt out as she was on Edge of Extinction.
Mhm.
And so I think that she is going to not be a huge threat to people because it has been a while since they've seen her. And I'm very curious to see her and Q together based on how what happened with Q. So that's going to be very fascinating to watch them interact. And I'm very excited for Aubrey. I actually have very high hopes for her this season.
Yeah, I do too. I I just think like her last showing was so rough
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like no one's who's gonna be worried about Aubrey. You know, like if
Mhm.
you're worried about Aubrey, I think that there are multiple other people who've played more recently and obviously had stronger, like more recent showings from the new era that
Yeah.
I just think would be like priority targets or other people who might fill that like brainy archetype that people would be worried about. So Aubrey's a good pick, a great pick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get two picks.
Uh-oh.
This is hard now. Now we're really getting to okay.
Just
I
go
am gonna
random.
go. What?
Random.
Oh yeah,
Totally random.
just spin a wheel.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I am gonna go with somebody who I'm not necessarily rooting for. Necessarily, I'm not rooting against them, but I do think that they have a pretty good shot here, and that is Mr. Joe Hunter.
Oh.
Interesting.
Because Joe was all about loyalty, integrity,
Mhm.
honesty, and while that may not be the most exciting thing to watch, it is somebody who you want to work with. So I think that he could kind of have the pick of the litter from people to work with because everyone wants a loyal ally. And from what you've seen of Joe, he is like the most loyal ally there is. So I just feel like he is going to be a strength for them in the challenges and a loyal ally. Like, what more could you ask for? Why would you vote him out pre merge? Like, other than, I guess, to not let him go on an immunity streak later on. But I just think that he's somebody who you want on your tribe and you want around. So to me, that spells not somebody who's going to be out early, at the very least. My second pick, this gets hard. I don't know who to pick. Okay. I think I will go with. Okay. I guess I'll go with Stephanie.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know that I like have really high hopes for Stephanie. I don't think I want Stephanie to do well, to be perfectly honest with you. But I
You
don't.
just chose the people you're not rooting for.
I know.
Right.
It's like one of those like. I feel like if I'm not rooting for I don't know. It's like a weird thing in my head, but I don't want to go with a winner. I don't want to go with like I think that Stephanie just kind of doesn't have anything glaring to me that would signal early target.
Okay.
So like I feel like she's like very physically fit. I think she's going to do well in challenges. I think that she hasn't played in a long time. So I don't think she's going to be like on anyone's radar necessarily. And yeah, I mean, I kind of just see her making it mid game at the very least. So I guess, yeah, I don't know. I panicked.
Yeah, I feel like I'm worried for Joe just because he was just fresh off, or not that fresh, but pretty fresh off of like from a season going to back on the on into Fiji, and I feel like he probably didn't have a ton of time to like figure out like if he was gonna like or learn more about the cast or other people who were in Survivor. That I just feel like he's not. I mean, maybe that's a good thing that he's not a great game player. That people won't see him as a threat in that way, but he is that physical threat and winning those challenges. So I don't know. I just don't think I could see him winning it all, but I guess people could just keep him around because they like him.
Yeah, he's loyal. I could see him making it very like I don't see a world where he doesn't make it very far. But if people feel like I guess I just worry about him and a lot of people who are going to make it far, like will they be looked at as the passenger, you know, being brought to the end and then what are their odds of winning? So
Mhm.
I I don't know. I don't see a world where Joe wins, but mostly because I just don't think he's
Yeah.
going to like adjust his game at all or adjust
Right.
how he talks about and thinks of himself. But that's Joe.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with like the 48 and 49ers is that they haven't had the time to just like reflect on their games. Like
Hmm.
48 got to watch their season, but it was still very very fresh. Like days later they flew out after the finale. So like they have not had that time to just like
Yeah.
decompress. And I think that's needed in order to be able to like look objectively back at your game and say what could I have done better? What will I do differently this time? And so I do think that Joe, Camilla, Kyle, they're all going to go in and basically play the same exact way that they played the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm worried about them too. But we'll have to see because I mean they're all close to each other in a way
I'm worried
too, so
about
maybe that's
them.
gonna help
Yeah.
them. But
I'm
we'll
worried
see.
about them, but I'm more worried about Kyle and Camilla than I am with Joe because I just think that Kyle and Camilla, the way that they played was a lot sneakier, which was more entertaining and which worked for both of them really. But it, I think that Joe's game was more somebody who on a returning season wouldn't feel the need to like try to change the perception of themselves. I think Joe is like, yeah, what you saw is how I was. I was loyal. And that, if you want me to be loyal to you, come along with me. So I do, yeah, I don't see a world where he's an early exit.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
also
true.
think like I could picture in the case of Stephanie, for instance, like I guess I just see a world where she could be out earlier. I mean, you could say this for so many people, but it all just depends how the numbers fall on the tribe
Mm-hmm.
in terms of alliances in the division. And that's the case where I worry about her, but I would have definitely considered picking her to make it really far because I don't know, it'd be interesting. Like I feel like she still has the gamer mindset. She's played Snake in the Grass and Traders and like so she's not fully out of it. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know what
And
to
she has
think about
Colby
her.
on her tribe, which I think they obviously were allies on Heroes Villains for the short
Yeah.
time they were that Stephanie was there. And so I think that they are going to be automatically like close again. And if, then if they can pull in, like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I could see, like, I don't know, Rizzo, I think is somebody who probably would like, is just a fan of them and would want to work with like old schoolers. So I could see a world where they end up on the majority of their tribe.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, next it's my turn. And speaking of Colby, I'm going to take Colby for
Hmm.
my tribe. I am surprised no one got him yet. But I just think he's going to be very likable on the tribe he's on. And overall, just if he makes it far, that people will gravitate towards him. And he's strong, obviously, and good at challenges too. So I have hopes for him.
I have zero idea how Colby's going to do on this season. I feel like every time I see him speak, I'm more confused about how he's going to do, how he's going to play. Like, on one hand, I'm like, he is going to be the exact same Colby that we saw all those years ago. But I do think that he seems to regret how he was on Heroes Villains. He thinks that he was not fully in it and fully he was kind of a little bit out of it, it seemed like, on that season. And I think that he wants to play a little bit harder game. He wants to have more fun and be more invested in it. And so it does seem like I don't know if he's actually watched the show. I know Tina Wesson has said that they would watch the show and talk about it in like very recent times. And so if nothing else, it seems like he has is aware of the newer players, and I think that he could surprise us. I think that there's also a world where I don't know that he's going to be an early exit no matter what, but I think that there's a world where like he makes it relatively far, but he also is still the same, like kind of almost Joe-esque loyalty and integrity type of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like thinking ahead to my picks now because I'm freaking out.
Okay, well then go for it.
um, okay, so It's like, do I go with my head or go with my heart? And I am just so much better with playing with my heart when it comes to this draft. So I know the two people I'm going to pick. I don't even care anymore. I want to win, and I think that like I could see a world like tinfoil hat on where one of these two people actually wins this season.
Okay.
So let me just give you my two picks.
Yes.
The first will be D. I think D is such a strong player, obviously a winner, but I could just see her maneuvering. I could see her relationships working in her favor. The next person, who is just like such a hardcore gamer, and I know there are other people I should pick, but I'm gonna go Savannah. Get in. We're running it back. I'm
Wow.
Okay,
going for
back to back.
I'm going for I really want it. I want her to make me a 2-time draft winner by becoming a 2-time Survivor winner. So D and Savannah are on my team. My
Alright.
team's like a mother convention. That's like our nickname.
You know what? There's something to be said about just having a team full of people you want to root for, and that is 100% your team, Matt. I want to root for everybody on your team, and I don't want to root for really anyone on mine so far.
I know, but I don't want to lose. But I actually do think that like I'm telling you, I already have the winner, so you might as well like give up the rest of your picks to me.
I think the way that I'm thinking about my team so far is that I either win because someone that I want to root for wins, or I win because my team wins. But it can't be both. But it's going to be one or the other. You know what I mean? So I have to be happy regardless.
Yeah. For Savannah, I'm worried just because she just got off the island that she's going right back and hasn't nourished herself enough and like all the stuff. I'm like,
So
it's
hungry.
been a week. Like, is she gonna be okay? But I mean, I feel like she's got that drive in her that she could make it there pretty far still, but I think because everyone's going to be like, you just came back, then people will try to vote off, especially like Rizzo and Savannah. And knowing that Savannah is also the winner, I think she watching the interviews, like she did say that she shared that with people, or she's going to share that with people. So I think like that will put a threat, or we'll put a target on her and mark her as a big threat there. That she literally just won. So I'm worried for that. With D, because she won a few seasons ago, I think it won't be as talked about, but like, and she's gonna build those relationships, so she's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with D, I mean, I think that if anybody can get the target off of her back of the winner, I think it's D. She is an incredible player, and so I don't worry as much about her as I do with probably all of the other winners on this season. I do worry though with Savannah quite a bit because I think she has the capability to make it deep in the game. Like I won't be shocked if she does. But I do worry that a lot of people are going to really target the 49ers early because if you look at all-star seasons past, the people who are the mystery, people who played right before, whether that's Russell, Zeke, Michaela, they do make it far. But I think the fact that so many people on this season have played with somebody like that before, that is going to be on their minds of like, we can't let that happen again. And so that worries me a bit. And the fact that there's two of them probably even, it makes people think like, did they play closely together? Or did they how dangerous are they? So that can we let them get to each other? Like that worries me. And once one of them goes, I worry less about the other. But until one of them goes, I do worry that like it could. I think most of them probably assume it's Savannah because they think they're not going to put two winners on one tribe.
Yeah. Well, mark my words, because Savannah's about to win again.
I would not be shocked.
We'll see. I would actually be shocked.
I guess I would be shocked. I wouldn't be like upset about it.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I think it's Molly. My pick again.
It is.
Well, this one, I'm surprised no one's gotten him yet, but I guess he is just so smart and people are gonna perceive him as a threat.
I
So I'm gonna go with Christian. I love Christian and I'm rooting for him. So I need to add him to my team.
You know why I didn't pick Christian? Because Suri's on this tribe. And I think that Suri is
Uh-oh.
going to immediately target Christian because
Okay.
I think she's going to look at Christian as her Corey Wurtenberger. Like
Mm.
the kind of like nerdy-ish super fan who probably is going to ask Suri a million questions about her previous seasons. And I don't know if they know each other at all. Maybe they've met before. Maybe this isn't going to be quite as big of a worry as I would have for him. But I just think that that is not the type of person that Suri likes working with, and I could see her very easily like him being like the first person that she has her sights sets on, or did I say that right? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Sights set on.
The words were all there.
Yeah. And yeah, I just that is the one thing that worries me about Christian. But I love Christian, and I hope that he makes it far.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I especially think that the motivation for him of having this baby, secret baby back at home, which is like
Yeah, that was
wild to even
wild.
say. I think that that will, I don't know, I just see that being like an extra push for him. So
Mhm.
I did consider picking him, but he just doesn't fit into the vibes of my draft team. So I'm happy
He's got
for
all the
you.
girls now. I was like looking to see if
Yeah.
there were any other girls I wanted, and there's like no one's left. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. I get two now?
yes.
Okay. I actually can't believe that I got this person because as soon as I made my second pick last time, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't pick this person. And I did not think that they would get back to me. Give me Ozzy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think that Ozzy really impressed me actually with his answers, with his interview. That I think that he's in a very different place than he has been in the past when he's played. And I think that he seems to have a really good energy about him, and I feel good with him and Suri. Like I could see them
hmm
pairing up and doing some damage on this tribe. And I think that Ozzy is one of the rare, for some reason, even though it's his fifth time playing, right? Fifth or fourth.
Yep,
Um,
something like that. Fourth or
it doesn't
fifth.
seem like I don't think that he has a huge target on his back. Like I don't think that people think of him as much of a gamer. I think they just think of him as like the Jungle Boy and now Jungle Man. And I think that he's going to be able to, despite the amounts of time that he's played, I think that he's going to be able to get through pretty far without having too much of a target on his back. And they're going to want him to be on there to win the challenges. And yeah, I think that someone like Joe is going to probably get along with him really well, and I see him getting along with his tribe pretty well, and I think he's going to make a deep run here. And then my second pick, this one is harder. Ooh, okay. Let me. Who's left? I can't
Great
even think of
question.
who all's left. Okay. Uh, Do I want another man on my team? I really
Yeah,
don't.
Well, there's
you want a
only
man.
one female left,
Okay, and yeah, I
and I
don't
don't know
have
if you
very
want
high
her.
hopes. I don't
No,
have high
you don't
hopes
want
for her.
her.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, give me some fun on my team. Give me Q.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
I think that Q is going to be similar to Coach, just kind of like entertainment for people. My worry with Q is that he's not going to be someone that people want to align closely with because he's too unpredictable. But I think that people are not going to want to get rid of him because the days will be a lot more boring. So I think that there's a good possibility that people might keep him around a while just because of that.
Yeah, I can see that. Q definitely is has a way of just getting through the each episode. So I think he's definitely gonna potentially make it pretty far here.
Yeah, Q will be really interesting to see. I believe in him. Like I definitely believe in him. Over on RHAP, I did the Q preseason preview,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and rewatching his game, I was just more impressed than anything because people really wanted to work with him, which is why people hated him so much in the season because they had him factored into their plans and they kept factoring him in. Mostly Maria, I'd say, kept factoring him in again and again and again. So I think there's something there about Q that's really likable. It to a fault almost. That's what I see, like looking back at his season. And then again, like everyone sees him as this chaotic person, so it's a toss up. But I mean, a Q win would be beautiful. It'd be a beautiful thing.
Wow. I can't even imagine what leads up to a Q win. Like that story would be amazing to watch.
A lot of medevacs. Like 23 medevacs.
Just everybody gets medevaced except for Q.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could see it. All right, Molly, you're up again.
All right. Well, because Matt, you chose your winner from last season, I'm gonna choose Kyle here. Obviously, I have to. He won when we did our first draft for Survivor. So even if he's gonna have a big target on his back, I'm still gonna be rooting for him. And maybe he'll be able to knock it off just by his close relationships with people. Of course, with obviously he already knows Camilla and Joe really well. And I think that he'll be able to build other relationships with other castaways here. And I think that, I don't know, he just has a good way with his words and he can talk himself out of things. So I think that even if he's seen as a big threat here, that he can still make it.
He could win. He could be a 2-time winner.
Yeah.
Back to back.
He could. I don't know that I see Kyle winning this season, but I could very well see, like, he's a really smart guy. And I think he's very likable. I could see him if he can kind of make it. Because I feel like that, like, the winner target is mostly a thing in, like, the first couple of weeks, I would say. Like, once you get to a certain point in the game, people aren't necessarily thinking about your previous reputation anymore. They're mostly thinking about what has happened in this game this season so far. And so I think if he can just like make it those first few rounds, and then I think he can get in there and probably get in with a good alliance and make it pretty far. So and I think he's the type that is very good socially, that he has a very good chance if he can kind of get his grounds.
Yeah, I think like, and I have this thought about Camilla too, that I think it really comes down to, do people want to use that person to get further in the game? And I could see people wanting to work with Kyle because I think he'll just be easy to work with. I could see that with Camilla too. Like, sure, have her as the under the radar ally. Like, I could see things working out really well for both of them. So Kyle's a good pick. You know, there were only 2 other picks, which are going to go to me. But I still have to pick the order that I want them in. So.
Okay, so let's say who's left. So we have Rick Devens, Jonathan.
Oh wait, there aren't only, how many picks are there left?
Well, you have 2, but then I get one, and Michael gets the last one.
Oh, who's left?
So so we have Rick Devens, we have Rizzo, Jonathan Young, and Angelina.
Well, my first pick is definitely going to be Angelina. I love Angelina. She's going to be really fun to watch. She's a self-aware queen nowadays, so we're going to see that out of her, I'm sure. I would love a world where she wins. You know, I could see people letting her go further and further and not thinking that people will take her seriously. I actually really can't like wrap my head around what she'll be like in this season as compared with David versus Goliath. I'm assuming she might be similar to how she was the first time around, which may or may not be a good thing, but I will choose Angelina. And then my last pick, who, by the way, I was like, oh, we ran out of all the picks, like only one person left to choose. I will go with someone who I think actually could win. Jonathan. Jonathan is my pick because he's like the challenge beast, but I also think he has like I would like to think he has more strategic capability than people would give him credit for. Great friends with Boston Rob, but that doesn't. His Boston Rob skills aren't really transferable, so that's like
Unfortunately, we saw
fascinating.
that with the other Rob, who also
Yeah,
got
don't
advice
yeah.
from
Yeah, we don't
NPR.
need to talk about it. Rough times.
Yeah.
But I think with Jonathan, I would like to think because we know he strategic or he physically has what it takes, but like Jonathan, the first time that I saw Jonathan on my TV was like 20 years ago, and it was on a
Yeah,
show called Endurance, and he
endurance.
was playing the game. And I'm gonna bank on the fact that Jonathan is a gamer. Like, I don't feel like I really saw that on season 42, but maybe, edits are edits. Jonathan, mark my words, Jonathan will be the winner of this season,
Wow.
just like the rest of my draft team.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say he's gonna have a hard battle with Savannah.
I mean, and Emily and
And
Serene
Emily, yeah.
and Camilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could
Um,
happen. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good pick. Look, I think that Jonathan is somebody who is so typical to make it far in an all-star season. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
we saw that with like Brad Culpepper on Game Changers. Like, I think that like kind of that strong guy just for some reason just does pretty well on returning player seasons, it feels like. And
Mhm.
so I do think that he has a pretty good shot of making it far, and I don't think that he's going to be somebody who they're going to want to keep him around pre-merge because he's a strong guy, and then later on, like I don't think that he's such a strategic threat from his previous season, at least of what we saw, that he's going to be like a really big target unless he just like starts to go on an
Literally.
immunity streak and they want to cut it at the knees the first time he's available. I could see that, but otherwise, yeah, I think that he'll probably make it pretty far.
I think that it would be really smart for people to like try to use him to get further. I so much also I think comes down to like to your point about Brad Culpepper, for example. Um, I just feel like in a returning player season, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I just don't think people respect the challenge prowess as much as they would
Yeah.
in a first time player season. Just because, like, yeah, Jonathan, you could win all the challenges. No one cares. Like, Sareed never had a chance at winning all the. Camilla was not going to win all of the challenges. Like, I just, but I want for Jonathan, and I'm not. I will say I am not actually rooting for him, other than the fact that he's on my draft team. So I just don't love him. But I would like to see him pull this out just for me to be a 2-time winner in the draft, back to back.
I just love, there's something so funny to me that you have a mother convention and Jonathan.
Yeah, I was really thinking who fits in here because I would have gone with like anyone, anyone else.
That's so funny.
But honestly, I think I would have put Q in as like the last pick in the mother
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah.
He fits in well.
But just talk about Angelina for a second.
Yes, please.
Okay, if I have to say, I'm going to make a prediction here. I think Angelina's first out.
Oh,
I hate to
No.
say it 'cause I love her. I love her. But if you hear everybody's pregame interviews, they all talk about how hard she was pregaming and how like unpredictable she can be like as an ally, and like how I just think that I didn't hear really that many people saying I want to work with Angelina. Like I feel like the best thing that I heard that I can remember is people being like, "Oh, maybe we'll see how it goes." But I feel like so many people were really, really flagging her as somebody who is a foe that they want to get out early. And I unfortunately fear that as soon as they have that opportunity, they might strike.
I can see that.
Sorry, Matt.
you know what?
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I love her.
She's on my team, so
It's true.
and there
Sure,
was
she
I
can't.
didn't really have much of it. I had to have her here.
Yeah.
I'm
You
rooting
needed
for
to
her.
finish it
No,
off
I would
with
have picked
all
her
the
in
women
season
2.
plus
I
one.
needed to, yeah, +1. So I don't know. I think you're right, but like miracles could happen, right?
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
You never
Right.
know.
Well, Molly,
Well.
you have one of 2 picks now. 2 people left. We have Rizzo And we have Rick Devens. Who are you
Yes.
going with?
Well, I am gonna go with RIZGOD, Riz God.
Wait. You have to say the full thing.
Oh,
The man, the myth,
the
the
man, the
legend,
man, the legend.
RIZGOD, Riz God Baby.
Yes, thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Well, I just feel like, I mean, obviously he is still just very fresh and just came back from playing, but because he was so motivated in the game and he just loves the game of Survivor, I see him just being so excited to be there and really trying to play hard and the best he can, even if he's exhausted and still not very nourished. And I just couldn't let him be the last pick. So I just bring him on my team. I'm excited to root for him, even if he doesn't make it that far.
All
I'll
right.
say this, that I think that Rizzo's a great pick. I never would have put him on my draft team, even if he was the last pick. But that's just like from the moment that I saw that trailer at at the season finale for season 48, which by the way, I was at a watch party, like co-hosting this watch party in DC, and I probably said like the meanest things about him because I was just like, who's this guy who thinks that he's Riz God, like calling himself that? And I still feel like that about him. But the upside of him is that he knows that he's not in a great position. And he's so bold. Like he will go full force. And I I want to be I think I'm going to be really impressed this season with him because I I think that he'll manage to hang in there a little bit. He could be the first out. If he is, it'll be a glorious ending for him, but I also just think that he is someone who's willing to go full force. And the thing about him just playing like 10 days, being out there in Fiji 10 days before, which by the way is so rough, like that travel alone back and forth is horrible. But
at least it's not 39 days. Like we had a couple times some people do 39 days back to back.
Oh, no, that's rough. Yeah, no. But I mean, the thing about it is like for him and for Savannah, they're in the game mode and I don't even think they need to warm up. Like they're ready to play. So I would like to think that might work to their advantage.
I think if it can work to anyone's advantage between the two of them, Rizzo and Savannah, it will work to Rizzo's advantage because Savannah can't and isn't going to lie about the fact that she won. And I think that automatically puts another target on her back even more than somebody who just played. With Rizzo, I actually feel like he can be relatively honest about his game, but also downplay it in a very pretty easy way of just being like, I was a guy who made flashy moves, but like I just held on to my idol for like a long time. Like, I think that he can kind of really downplay all of that and be like, yeah, like I didn't even make it to final three. Like I think that he can put it in a way that feels like I just was somebody who was flashy and the audience really is going to like. I guess we can't say did yet, but who producers felt like was somebody going to be a fan favorite, but not somebody who was like a huge threat or that the jury like. It felt like the jury was not even that going to vote for him if he had made it to final three. We talked all about that. How what isn't the jury seeing, and the players aren't thinking that he's a big threat, whereas we think that he should be. And so I think that he can really like hammer that point home and make people a little bit less worried about him.
I agree with that completely. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, that's a great point. And the thing is, like Rizzo and Savannah, but I think Rizzo in particular, just talking about him, like would talk so much. There were so many confessionals where they were talking about being in the bottom or being in the minority, which was like hard to understand as a viewer sometimes because it looked like they were so dominant, even though they didn't always have the numbers. And that being something that, is part of his truth, I think will pay off for him. And he didn't win the $1 million. So he's hungry for it. If I'm Savannah, who, again, I think will be a 2-time winner with the rest of my team. But if, along with D also on my team, I just think like I would rather go home and cuddle up with my $1 million. Why not? but I'm also not going to say
Yeah.
no to going back out for season 50.
I know.
So
It's like, am I going to get another this opportunity again type of thing. I would never turn it down if, either.
no.
But yeah, I think that Rizzo has a pretty good shot of being able to tone down that threat level. So
But
we'll see.
Michael, the real question is, do you think that your pick has a shot? The last pick in our draft,
Rick
which I don't know. Does that count?
Devins.
Molly, does that count as a pick if you just have to
Mm.
take the person?
I mean, it's still his pick because it's like his team.
Mhm.
So he
So-
could choose not to pick
Yeah, you
anyone.
could just choose not
Yes.
to take.
I'll choose just to have a 7-person team here.
Yeah.
No, look, Rick Devins is. There's a lot worse people, I think, that I have gotten as last picks in the past. So I will take Rick Devins. Look, I don't have anything against Rick. I like Rick. I think that I don't know how I feel about his chances on this season. I don't know that he's going to be like one of the earliest exits. Like, I don't think he's coming in with this huge target. I think if he had come back for 40, if 40 was not all winners and he had come back for 40, which I guarantee he would have if it was not all winners, I think that he would have had a huge target on his back. But the fact that he has now had 5 years of people not really thinking much about him, being out of the spotlight, so many seasons have played since then, so many other bigger targets on this season, I do think that he could slide in there and be kind of an under the radar player a bit. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like a ton of the cast has great feelings about him from the preseason interviews. So that worries me that he's just not going to necessarily connect with people on his tribe and be an early easy boot because of that, because nobody has like super strong feelings about wanting to work closely with him. So that's my fear with Rick.
My thing that I'll say about him is that I feel like they're like, and I don't think it's intentional at all based on the preseason interviews, but to your point, people don't have the best feelings about him. And I think that his attempt at making people feel good about him or lower his threat level, which everyone's seeing through, I believe, is actually not bad for his threat level. Like, I don't think that anyone's thinking, oh, there's Rick trying to downplay things. And like, I just don't see people being threatened by him, especially to your point. So will that work for him? I don't know. I don't know if he'll have that, like, again, that killer instinct to like push further and go further in the game, but it'll be nice to see him try.
Well, it'll be fun. All right. Well, we have our teams. Yay. Look at that.
We do.
Let's go through them. So, Matt, your team is mostly a mother convention, as we've said,
Yeah.
with Chrissy Hoffbeck, Emily Flippen, Suri Fields, Camilla, Dee, Savannah, Angelina, and Jonathan. My team, Jenna, Coach, Tiffany, Joe, Stephanie, Ozzy, Q, and Rick. Molly, you've got Charlie, Genevieve, Mike, Aubrey, Colby, Christian, Kyle, and Rizgod. How are we feeling about our teams? Who do we think does one person have like a strongest team at first?
I'll put myself first. I think my team's the strongest. No, I don't. Honestly, I was listening between your two teams. It's so hard because
It seems
there's all
pretty
sorts.
even.
Yeah, it seems pretty even. It does.
Yeah. I think mine is the least likable team, but I don't know that that necessarily equates to worst.
Yeah.
So I think that it's so hard to tell. Like I feel like with an all newbie season, it's so much easier to look at a team and be like, oh yeah, those are going to be strong players. Here, it's like there's so many other factors that go into that it's so hard to say like who's strong, who has a good chance, bad chance. Like there's so many variables that go into it that it's really hard to say. But I feel like from first glance, it looks like they're relatively even. I think that we all have a pretty good chance here.
Yeah, but I do like your team, Matt. I think
I do too. Yeah, you have my favorite team.
Yeah, it was a choice. I wasn't expecting it. I really thought Coach would be my first draft pick, and then I abandoned all plans. So
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
see.
now is our time when we make some predictions. So I want each of us to go around and make one winner pick and one bold prediction for something that will happen this season.
Oh.
Who wants to go first?
I think you might want to go first, Michael.
Okay. I'll go first.
Me
My
and
winner
Molly in an
pick?
alliance that I just initiated all of a sudden.
Okay, my winner pick is going to be Coach. I just think that from what I've heard people say about him in the preseason interviews, I just think that everybody wants to be around him, wants to align with him, wants to be with him on the island. And I could just see that playing out in the season as people just gravitating towards him and not wanting to vote him out. And so I know that's somewhat uncreative because I know that was Mike Bloom's winner pick too, but I see it. I do. It's hard to go against it because I agree with his thought process behind that, and I have high hopes for him. And then my bold prediction for the season is that I think we will have a girls' alliance, a successful girls' alliance. That doesn't necessarily make it all the way to the end together, but I think that there's just very strong women on this season that I'm really excited about. And I could see them getting together at some point and doing some damage, whether that ends up being, I don't think it's going to be Micronesia level, but I do think that they will work together and do some damage.
Okay. Good prediction and winner pick there. I'll go next. Well, I don't know if he's gonna win, but I have to choose someone on my team, so I'm gonna go with Charlie. I just really want him to win, so I hope he does, even though he might not. And my prediction is that I think Camilla will turn on Kyle.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to go with, I'll give you my bold prediction first.
Okay.
My bold prediction is that a woman will win Survivor 50.
Multiple women, potentially.
Multiple women. Maybe most of my draft team. So that's my prediction. I would love to see it. But who's going to be the winner? I'm going to go with Emily Flippin. Like, I really do feel like Coach, I feel like very highly about Coach going into this season, but I just feel like Emily could do it. I really want to believe in her or any of the 6 other women on my draft team. So we'll go with Emily.
Okay.
All right. Good predictions, good choices. They will be clipped and saved for finale night.
Oh, no. Don't hold me to it.
All right. Well, Matt, we have one last thing for you to choose, to pick. So in 2026, we are doing our second annual Chatty Awards ceremony. And this season, we are going to be adding a guest choice nominee. So, Matt, all of our guests, we are asking for one nominee for this award. If there is somebody who gets the most amount of nominations, they will be the automatic winner. If not, then Molly and I will choose between and pick a winner between all of our guests' nominees. So do you have somebody that you would like to select, of somebody who you just, it doesn't have to be from Survivor. Obviously, we haven't seen any of Survivor yet, so it can't be. But anyone who you have seen on reality TV this year so far that you think deserves a nomination?
Yes. I know exactly who I'll pick.
Who are you picking?
I'll go with Rob Cesternino. Such a great player. Like, clocked the murder in plain sight. And then, the body being T.
It is.
He made Rob made so much out of not a lot, out of nothing really when it came to his season and his appearance on the Traders. And so I feel like it's his year. And honestly, could be even better if he's brought back as returning on Traders, like season 5 or something. So Rob is my pick, and I think he's gonna get more than one vote, more than one nomination.
He already has, I believe.
I'm
was
sure
it
he
Omer?
has.
Now you're a second vote.
I think, Molly, was it Omer
I want to be the
that said
first.
Rob first?
I think so.
Yeah, so he is in the lead right now with 2 nominations. So we will see if he ends up winning. But Matt, this was so much fun, as always. Thank you so much for
Yes.
joining us again for another draft.
Happy to be here. And look, I'm ready. I'm ready to be a two-time draft winner. Like, finally. I know Molly and I are fighting it out. Mike, this is actually really nice because we'll either have a 2-time draft winner or a first-time winner. And
Yeah, we could all tie. Wouldn't that be great?
We could. We could.
Let 51 be the deciding factor of who's in the lead.
Yeah. No, I love this though. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Where can our listeners find you? Do you have anything to plug?
Sure. So you can find me, Matt Scott GW, on all of the platforms. And what do I want to plug? I always like to encourage people to check out or subscribe to the Pride Has Spoken, our Pride Month series on RHAP interviewing LGBTQ plus survivor players. Comes out in June. So check that out. Always, like, a lot of great conversations and interviews that are fun to listen to any time of year or watch any time of year. I also will plug my show Pod Friends on RHAP, which is just on the verge of its season finale. I'm so excited for the season finale. Just to give you like a preview of what to expect, I have 50 plus submissions
Yay,
from fans and other people in the Survivor community. Yeah, I'm so proud of that. So I have 50 plus submissions from people sharing their story of like how survivors changed their lives. And I have, as long as nothing falls through, I have a very special guest coming on to talk, like to watch some of those clips and then talk about their story. Survivor 48's own Star Toomey.
Oh my God.
Will be my guest, like, for my season finale. And she has such a powerful story. So it'll be a lot of fun to do that episode. It's like an episode like none of the other Pod Friends episodes I've done over the last like 4 or 5 years or however long it's been. So there's that. Speaking of Pod Friends, I'm wearing the Pod Friends shirt.
Yeah, show it off.
We have new merch. Check it out. Rob has a website.com/store. And yeah, get a shirt. Come on, support me. Let me know that you bought the shirt. And what else do I want to plug? Just want to plug that just earlier this week on RHP for the patrons, I hosted the RHP book club for Stephen Fishback's new book, Escape, which was a lot of fun. So you could check that out if you're a patron of RHP. And also, I'll be at the Atlanta and New York City live shows this year for RHAP. So yeah, like packed time, but this is a good way to like kick off Survivor season for me. This is a lot of fun. It feels real all of a sudden. So thanks again for having me and letting me get in like a million plugs.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody, or watching on YouTube. And be sure to subscribe wherever you are getting your podcasts and follow us at Let's Chat Reality on all social media. And we will be back next week for a very busy week with Traders finale and Survivor premiere. A lot coming up, a lot of exciting reality TV on the way, and we will be covering it all right here. So be sure to check it out, and we will chat with y'all next week. Bye, everyone.